Welcome back to At Titi's House podcast. I know it's been a while. How long it's been? Shoot, we took a little bit of a hiatus.
2 weeks.
2 weeks, a lot going on, right?
Yep, personal life.
Personal life is lifing.
Life is life.
That's what people say, man. When I tell you it has been lifing, lost a lot of people with the holidays after Christmas, before the 15th of July, I think a total of about 5 people.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to fly to Baltimore for a funeral and then went to New Jersey. I went to Baltimore for 2 funerals, went to Jersey for 2 funerals. And all I can say is that it's hard. I think I was mentally drained. I was mentally drained for at least a good, even like functionally, like work and stuff. I couldn't function. Couldn't function with everything that was going on, just trying to deal with, and just trying to support my friends as they lose their loved ones.
Yeah.
It's hard, man. I tell you that. It's so hard to see how a breakdown of communication happens when you lose somebody in your family too, or in families.
What you mean by that breakdown of communication?
Just people not, I think that, I know it made me realize, and I don't know, a lot of people probably don't think about this, but it made me realize, like, get my shit together. So that I don't have to worry about you guys getting it together after the fact.
Yeah.
Make sure my house goes where it's supposed to go, my car, like things that really matter. You need a will. People need to know how to disperse your money or what to do. What's your last and final plans for yourself?
Yeah.
Because I don't want you to be responsible for that. I want to be cremated. I don't want to be buried. Like, I want to have a memorial service, yes, but just, cremate me afterwards. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think it's your wishes. Like, where do you want to be buried? Do you want to be buried where you grew up or where you're currently living and residing? Like, where's the majority of your family? Like, for me, that's why I want to be cremated, because I'm like, I don't really have a staple in the United States. I don't feel like, Jersey's home for me, but none of my relatives are buried there. So why would I bury myself there?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Be the only one there.
I'll be the only one there. Who's going to come visit me? Who's going to come clean? These are things you have to think about. You know what I'm saying? And even watching my friend kind of go through, listening to what she went through, and she was saying that they didn't expect her mom and grandmother to go first. They really expected the grandfather and the husband to go first. And now you're burying their wives and, and they're veterans. So so many things to be considered that you don't think about. And it really makes you, and just talking to her and just watch, what she went through, I was like, man, I need to get my stuff in order, like completely 100%. Like, how's the funeral going to be paid for? What my wishes are, how I want it to be staged, what pictures I want to choose. Like, I want to do everything.
The picture, yes. I think most people just don't expect that they're going to die when it happens.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they don't be ready for
Absolutely. Do I want it to be sad, or do I want it to be a celebration?
Nice
like, my
party.
mom's burial was a celebration. We sang and put, music was playing, and that's what she would have wanted. She wouldn't have wanted everybody in there crying about her being gone. You're always going to, it's always hard to handle, because even when you expect it, it's really not expected. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't know the time. You know what I'm saying? So, but it was a lot. It was a lot. And it was really, to watch them going through that, it was really draining. And I think, like I said, there's a lack of communication amongst the person that's passed and the family. And then if that person has a spouse, the spouse has rights to everything. Yeah. If that person doesn't want the spouse to be solely responsible, then that person needs to be communicating with his or her family.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because the spouse is not always going to do the right thing.
And even if they do communicate it with their family, if the spouse still is the one who has the power.
Yeah, but you can give your family the power of attorney.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Over that. I want my mother to be the power of attorney over my last and final,
Yeah.
This is my last and final say of what I want. I think that's very important. It made me really realize that, you know, because I was, and then, you know, just to think, you know, for my girlfriend, her mom had been in a nursing home because she wasn't able to care for herself anymore. And at that time, you know, you lose the insurance from work. As long as I'm working and I die as I'm working, yeah, I got insurance to cover me. But what happens when you lose your job or you can no longer work and the the insurance doesn't cover you anymore? You know what I'm saying? Those are things that you have to consider. So it's a lot to consider. You know what I'm saying? It was just sad. It was sad. Lack of communication.
Yeah.
Throughout the whole entire process. Beautiful, I'm going to say at the end, in Baltimore, 2 beautiful service, you know, the services were together, so it was beautiful. And yet very sad. And it makes you emotional about you losing your own parents. You know what I'm saying? You start to think about, you know, things that you could have done probably better and stuff like that. So it was a little hard. Yeah, it was. I'm glad to be home because I missed. Thank you for watching my dog while I was gone.
Yeah, no problem.
What do people do when they got to go out of town for such periods of time, and then you got to just board your dogs if you don't have anybody?
Yeah, they got like them. That's like where you take your dogs and they watch them for you.
But I wouldn't want nobody watching Carlito. I don't trust them. That's like my baby.
Yeah.
It's like your kid. You don't want nobody just babysitting your kids.
Yeah, it might just take them with you.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. It was a very emotional time. I could tell you that. It was nice though because when I went to Baltimore, I was able to see people that I hadn't seen in a while. Same thing with Jersey. It was like, man, I got to see people I hadn't seen in like 30 years, 35 years. Like, yo, where you been at? Like people were coming up to me. Some people I couldn't recognize them. Like faces look familiar, but I couldn't put a name to them. And at the end, I was telling Aunt Andrea, I was like, do you know who that was? And she'll be like, yes. And then we walk outside and she'll be like, no. I was like,
that's funny.
I didn't even know who that person was.
Flexing.
Yeah, flexing. Don't even know either. We both be lost. Like, who was that? We didn't know. But it was nice to see, you know, a lot of people that hadn't seen.
They remember y'all, though.
Oh, my God. They remembered us, though. It was funny because people were just like, oh, my God, it's been how many years? A long time. And it's funny because at the funeral, at Roxanne's brother's funeral, it was people like he was older than us, so people his age group that still knew us. But it was nice though, seeing everybody, just people, you know, saying like what was their address where they grew up, like what house was you at? I was on this street and I was on that street, you know, just everybody just knew each other by the name of the street and what house was yours, which was funny because I hadn't heard that in a long time. You know what I'm saying? So, but it was nice though to see everybody after so many years and people still looking good and taking care of themselves and all that good stuff. So nice to see everybody. All right, so let's talk about, I want to talk about a couple things. Did you know that the Federal Reserve was meeting to discuss, so they were supposed to meet to discuss the interest rates.
Yeah, they've been doing that for like the last year.
Yeah, so Wednesday they met and they didn't change anything though. It's like, what the heck? When are y'all going to change it? Because I think it's like between 5 to 7% right now. Yeah. And people want to see it go, you know,
back down.
Lower for it to go back down so that they can start purchasing. Even for cars, it's very expensive.
Yeah.
Even when I bought my car, I was like, my credit was great, but the interest rate was like 5%. Usually you can get at least a 2% or 0% or, you know what I'm saying, or 1%. I ain't getting none of that for a used or a new car.
They trying to make up for all the money they lost during COVID.
Yeah, it was crazy. So, so they met on Wednesday. They didn't change anything. So we're still where we are. Although it's been a lot of conversation about it, hasn't taken place yet. It's between 5.25% and 5.5% is what it is right now. Y'all know November the 5th is the next presidential election. Please start thinking about, you know, looking at the parties. I always say I'm always going to vote blue because I'm blue. I bleed blue.
Why are you bleeding blue, though?
Because, I mean, I feel like the Democrats are for the the marginalized people, the middle class people.
None of them
Republicans are for the rich.
None of them are for us.
I know everybody says that, but you
They
can't. I don't think that's true, though. I think that
Biden is a blue, and he did the crime. He's the reason we're all locked up from the crime laws that he put in place back in the 90s. He's blue.
okay, that might be true. I haven't looked at that. I would have to research that stuff.
Yeah.
But it's like, I don't know. I think that people do your own research. Like you said, I bleed blue.
Yeah.
I don't care who's running for a Democratic Party. I'm bleeding blue. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's all the time, every time. That's just me. But if you are, in the air or conflicted, I think that you need to do your research. You know what I'm saying? Because if you think Republican Party is always trusted to do better when it comes to the economy, inflation, crime, stuff like that. That's what they primarily look at. Democrats always have the advantage of dealing with gun violence, education, healthcare. So you have to look at what's important to you and make a decision based off of that. We got Biden and Trump again. I think
Hopefully
that
somebody else comes, because
hopefully somebody else does come, but I don't think it's going to happen.
yeah, I don't think that we should be. I'm not in no gang, so I'm not sticking to one side because of anything, because that's what they say that we're supposed to do. You feel me?
I can tell you this. They did a poll, ABC News, and it's called Ipsos poll, IPSOS poll, conducted on November the 3rd to the 4th of 2023. Mm-hmm. They did a knowledge panel, and the representative sample was Black and Hispanics, any adults over the age of 18 or older, with oversampling of Blacks and Hispanics. I don't know why they would oversample Blacks and Hispanics. I don't know. Maybe they want to figure out what we're thinking. Mm-hmm. But they did this poll, but the majority, everybody is focused on the economy as the most important thing.
Oh yeah, because it's
the most important talked about topic for the Democratic election for 2024 is the economy.
Yeah, heck yeah.
We really need to think about the economy.
And this is why I say, isn't that what Republicans focus on and what they be doing? Money stuff? Like,
money. Yup.
If that's what they be caring
economy
about.
And inflation. Like, and right now,
I trust the economy more with Trump than Biden. Because right now, under Biden...
It's funny because they said the economy was better because of Trump, his tax breaks and stuff like that. I agree. But that's what I'm saying. For me, it's all about us winning the states and being blue states as opposed to red. That's what it's all about for me. I don't give a damn what you're talking about. Well, it depends. It depends. But you got to do your research. Don't not go out there and vote because there's two candidates that you do not like.
Yeah, exactly.
Go out there and vote based off of the topics that they're talking about and what's most important to you.
And what's the less
Blacks and Hispanics, evils. We got to stick together and go out there and vote.
Yeah.
What's important to you? Right now, the economy. So if it's the economy, the Republicans, by far, may win this election. Exactly. We have a Democratic in office right now. I hate to say this, Biden is not doing a great job.
And that's what I'm saying, why I wouldn't vote for him again.
My whole thing is I don't want the Republicans to win the state.
Why, though? Are you a Crip?
Am I what?
Are you a Crip?
I am a Crip. I bleed blue. That's it. That's all I'm saying. Because they're normally for the middle class and the lower class.
Yeah.
So that's what I stick with. Because I feel like we don't win a lot of times. You know what I'm saying? It's not cool.
Yeah.
It's just not cool. A lot of layoffs going on. They're saying the economy is good right now.
They say that. I've seen some little articles on YouTube about that as well, but...
Is it really, though? When you got major layoffs from UPS and Amazon, Macy's, Duolingo, like a lot. And a lot of the jobs that people are being laid off from are professional jobs.
Yeah, exactly.
Master's degrees.
Nah, tech. I got a couple homies who work in tech that done lost their jobs.
Yeah, they're losing their jobs. And I think really, if you think about it, maybe these companies are not making the money that they were making last year, the year before. they're not making the money, so they have to let people go to make sure that they're, balancing out their budgets and their sheets. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Economic sheets. It's
Yeah,
a lot
and they
going
said
on.
that because everything costs so much, a lot of people went through their savings in these last 2 years
know,
since
that's
after
crazy.
COVID. It's like, all right, we made some money during COVID, or we got free
little bit
money
of
from
money,
the government, but the money we saved up then got spent on eggs because the eggs is $9.
Inflation is really high. Groceries have gone up. I think when I used to go to the grocery store, I probably would spend like $60 because it's just me.
Yeah.
Now it's doubled, $120, and I'm walking out of there with less stuff.
Less stuff, yeah. They said that I seen the so you seen Home Alone before, right?
Yeah.
The movie. In Home Alone 1, there's a clip when he goes into the grocery store and he spends $20 on stuff. And they're saying that today, if he was to buy them same things, it would be $80. The stuff that he spent $20 on in the movie
would be $80
would be
today.
$80 today.
I believe that.
Yeah.
Everything is expensive. It's funny because even going out to eat, like you see the cost, like they're putting, when you go to a restaurant now, they're putting on the napkin cost, the utensil cost, the dishwashing detergent cost. Like you're feeling the pain of what they're feeling.
Everything, yeah.
And is it fair? Yes, it's fair. And if you're out there going out to dinner, you're going to pay that price.
Yeah.
You are paying for whatever it costs to have the lights on.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy, but it's so many people are struggling right now to keep ahead and make ends meet. And I think everybody's going through being defaulted in debt. You know what I'm saying? Like we as Americans, like it's a tough time right now. So how is the economy good? They're saying it's okay because of the unemployment rate is not bad. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But really, is it not? We're about to add a whole bunch of layoffs from these major companies that I think that, remember when the pandemic was in, everybody was using the Amazon to order food and all that Instacart and all that stuff. A lot of companies have to let people go because they don't need that overflow anymore, people of heads. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. They're just trying to make sure that they're good too.
Another thing is CEOs, a large number of CEOs resignations, record high for 2023.
Really?
And I think it has to do with, the pandemic. I think a lot of CEOs stayed in their positions not knowing, where the economy was going. Mm-hmm. And then not wanting to leave like their jobs.
Their comfort, yeah.
In their comfort zone without knowing, am I really going to be able to retire and not go through my retirement money so quickly. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so what do you think they're resigning for then? Because resign means that they're doing
retiring.
Retiring, okay.
I think retirement is the main reason you're seeing a high number of CEOs retire. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? They're ready. Yeah. They're ready. They probably was ready to exit the workforce before the pandemic.
Yeah, they ain't know how.
And it just kind of held. I know some people that were in their military careers and at 22 years ready to retire, and they said, "Well, I'm gonna just stay in during the pandemic." I know of people that have come out the military and have gone back in because the economy there's no jobs out here. Mm-hmm. Although they're saying there's a whole bunch of jobs. And the unemployment rate is very low. I don't see that. I don't know where they get their numbers from sometimes. What do you think?
They be fudging them.
You think they be fudging the numbers?
Of course, they fudge everything.
To make it look good to the American people.
They're trying to sell it, make it look good during election year. It ain't no telling.
It's so crazy. And I know that I was reading something that said that the points that Trump and Biden were going to be talking about, like what's important for you to pay attention to during their debates and stuff. I know taxes was one because Trump always gives you back money through taxes and stuff. We're supposed to be getting a break on taxes anyway because they changed the level of the rate that you paying in taxes too. There's a lot of stuff going on, but if you're not paying attention, you don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Got to pay attention. You're on social media and you're looking, people are giving you information. That's the one thing I can say about, the TikToks and I see it a lot on TikTok. I'm not on Snapchat. I don't even know how Snapchat works.
I ain't on Snapchat either.
But the TikToks and the threads and Instagram is you see people are posting things to educate people. educate yourself, because out here you can't trust what everybody is saying, but you can trust yourself if you've done the research, and you can share that knowledge with other people.
Yeah, and once and what's bad about using just strictly that is once, like, say Instagram sees you seeing a certain type of thing, they're gonna feed you that over and
over again.
And they're not
the
gonna give you a
algorithm of
balance.
that.
They're not gonna give you a balanced debate between the two. They're just gonna, he loves this type
yeah,
of
he
stuff.
likes that. That's the algorithm. It's
Yeah,
so funny
exactly.
because the
Algorithm.
other day, what was I doing? I was doing something, and I asked Siri something, and then it starts coming up in my emails.
All that, yep.
I was like, what is going on?
I don't trust none of that.
Man. We gotta push our government to do better. Like you say, you're gonna have conversations. The Federal Reserve, you're supposed to be announcing these rate changes, and then we don't get nothing as the American people. People are waiting and holding on. People sold their houses because they thought that they were going to be able to buy a bigger house or, do better by downsizing. And guess what?
Everything expensive.
Those people have had to move to apartments and
Yep.
not be able to buy homes. That's not cool.
Yeah.
It's not cool. Like, we have to keep our word. That's what people need to be looking at too, is that these people that sit in these high offices, chairmen and elected officials, we need to be looking at who we're electing. Mm-hmm. We're not doing that. We need to be. You know what I'm saying? It's unchanged right now, and there's a delay in anticipated rate cuts. Not good.
Yeah. Stock market is trash. Everything is in a horrible state currently.
Everything. That's why people are out here. I mean, it's so funny because I'm so glad I'm not in the point in my life where I have to make a decision between healthcare and eating. Because there's people out here that are struggling with having to make a decision on whether they need to buy medications or they need to buy food for their refrigerator and to feed themselves. It's a lot of older people struggling with that. Yeah. That's just so unfair, especially when you've put so much towards your working career and now you have nothing.
That's why I don't trust none of that.
You got to prepare in other ways for retirement. Yeah. You got to prepare for, you're going to have to figure out what's going to work for you.
Yeah, because it could be gone at any time.
I hope I'm not the burden on you guys and live a long life, because I don't want to be a burden on nobody. Seriously. Because people keep thinking these 401ks going to last. They not. A 401k ain't going to do shit for you at the end of the day. I hope you're investing money in other things and other avenues of getting, income.
Yeah,
that you can really, sustainable income that you really can retire off of. If you got a house, use that sucker to rent it. Go live in another country, make your money stretch. People are so afraid to leave the United States.
I know. I don't know why, though.
I don't know why.
Just the fear of the unknown, and just, it's a lot,
It is.
to have to learn a new language to be somewhere. Hey.
But the stressors that we go through in this country.
Yeah, this country's trash. I'm out next year.
I know y'all leaving, right?
Yeah, I'm out.
Yeah, man. It's a lot. It's a lot. So let's talk about what is going on in social media, though.
With what?
With Nicki Minaj and Meg Thee Stallion.
Meg Thee Stallion.
Did they have beef before?
Yeah, they had beef before that, because first Nicki was on Meg's Hot Girl Summer song. And then the next song that Meg dropped had Cardi B on it. And they're ops. So she's
they
like,
don't like
man,
each
if
other.
you was going to do this, I wouldn't have did the feature for you. So
yeah,
they've been beefing since Meg first came out, early on. So they've been throwing shots at each other. But this is the first time that they're really, that they're dissing each other back to back.
Wow. So is that what's going on?
Yeah. Did you hear the diss songs?
I haven't. But I did hear the Breakfast Club talking about, let me just say this about Charlemagne the God and DJ Envy. First of all, I don't like how they did Just Hilarious.
Oh, I heard that she just got hired.
She just got hired. But the first thing that they said before then was she's not the co-host on the panel.
Who said that?
They did.
I didn't hear that.
Come on.
I heard Charlemagne caping for her, saying that they wanted her, and it was the higher ups wasn't trying to hire her.
Really? Is that
Yeah.
what it was?
Yeah, I
But
think
she
so.
announced that she was hired, and then they came back and they were like, she didn't get the job.
Yeah, that was the higher ups.
That wasn't DJ Envy?
No.
Okay, so I gotta eat my words
From
sometimes.
what I seen, it was because I didn't see nothing from Envy. I seen Charlamagne saying she's supposed to start this week.
Right.
We don't know what's going on. Like it was something within Breakfast Club and Power 105 that was
Right.
holding up because Jess Hilarious and Charlamagne are cool.
Okay.
She be on his podcast and everything. So
Okay, so I'm like, all right, because I was kind of like feeling a certain type of way because then
Yeah.
she came back and they announced that she had the job.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was like, if I was her, I wouldn't even take the job.
Take it, yeah.
But you got to think about the Breakfast Club is a very popular
Exactly.
show. And this could really exponentially put her in a different category. You know what I'm saying? Because she's funny.
yeah, heck yeah.
I like her on there. So yeah, that kind of made me mad though. But
Yeah, I don't think it was them. I think it was the higher ups. They got bosses. It's not up to them.
Yeah.
Somebody signing their check.
but their word should mean something.
If the people respected it.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. If they're respected, then their word should mean something.
Yeah.
You should be looking at who they're referring
Yeah.
for the position. Plus, you can see that they all get along.
Exactly.
The camaraderie between them, what the conversations that they had, how they
Yeah.
kind of feed off of each other.
I like that
that.
she be joking on them because I liked Angela Yee a lot because I even watched Angela Yee's podcast, but I
Yeah.
feel like she was mad. She was a little too quiet and timid for that energy. Like Charlamagne, you got to be like sending shots and jokes at them super heavy compared to, Angela Yee was a little more quiet on there compared to her
I think
other
that
ones.
I think so too. But I think that I think that Jess is gonna get them because Jess is gonna be more
Yeah,
vocal.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? She ain't gonna let them out talk her.
Exactly
She
what
from
I'm saying.
Baltimore. It ain't gonna happen.
Yeah, she gonna be
You know what
talking
I'm saying?
shit.
It's not gonna happen. I feel like that's one thing. I think Angela Yee was a little bit more timid.
Yeah,
Maybe
timid
just
in that
you got two
situation.
men and they're kind of rah all the time, but Jess Hilarious is rah too.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Exactly.
I'm for it. I want to see that. But the thing that I didn't like was that Charlamagne was like, Nicki had tweeted some stuff about what she was going to put in the diss track, and then it didn't hit the same, and it was like, you're not supposed to give the information, or you're not supposed to get the lyrics that you're going to be putting on this
Before we
diss
even
track and
hear
before
it,
we
yeah.
even hear it. So that was a lot. So I think that because they have so much, they got a lot of people watching, and I think because their word is bond, basically.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like people are listening to this and they're like, yeah, the diss track wasn't that great.
Yeah, I mean, I think Nicki. I listened to both of them
You did?
yesterday.
So do you think Nicki got her?
Nicki got the up on her right
She did?
now.
Okay,
yeah.
okay. Because they making it seem like Nicki just gave out all her discs. Because
Nah.
they said she was tweeting certain things and then she put it in the song.
I mean, Megan better come back hard because
Oh,
Nicki
my
said she
goodness.
got a couple more lined up already.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh.
They said they done took the beast out of hibernation. They talking about Nicki.
Yeah.
But Nicki ain't came out with nothing, right?
No, she just dropped the album, but she hasn't been super active.
Right.
Because she's a superstar. She don't need to be super active. But this is the best. She was sounding like old Nicki on that Bigfoot song.
Okay. I thought it was, I haven't heard them yet, but
Yeah.
I just heard all the commentary.
Yeah, you should
And I was
listen
like,
to 'em.
come on, Charlamagne, just don't do that. Don't do Nicki like that. Nicki is a household name.
Nah, Nicki got the
She's-
one up for me.
Okay. So her lyrics, although you might have seen them, they was hitting hard.
But I
it's
also
nothing
didn't
like
see 'em,
like
yeah.
rapping them as
Yeah.
opposed to writing them. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
You never know how they're gonna be delivered.
Yeah,
but I
exactly.
actually-
The delivery is the most important thing.
Exactly.
You know
but
what
I
I'm
didn't
saying?
see the tweets, so I'm receiving it as somebody who didn't read the lyrics and just heard it. Compared
Okay.
to, so maybe reading it didn't hit the same.
Yeah.
But I didn't.
No, I
see
think
the
they
tweet.
heard it because they said Meg dropped hers at midnight, and then Nicki did it the next day, 24 hours later. Like they was like, you gotta when you come out with a diss track, you got to do it immediately.
Yeah, got to.
You got to hit it. 24 hours was too much time. They were saying all kinds
No,
of stuff.
24 hours is good amount of
No,
time.
it is? Okay.
If it takes a week or 2 weeks, then that's when I'll be like, all right, the beef is over. It's like, what's taking you so
Come
long?
on, what's
Like,
taking you so
what
long
you got to
to
say
hit?
tomorrow? I'm trying to hear that.
And then they were saying that a lot of stuff, that she said about Megan's mom, like some stuff should be off
Yeah,
limits.
nah,
How
I
did
think
it sound? Did it sound
It was
bad?
fire.
Oh, it was fire.
Yeah,
So
I
you
mean,
liked it.
she
I don't
said
know.
that
I
you-
feel like some stuff should be off limits, though.
No, there's nothing off limits in war. It's like saying, oh, you can't use this gun if we go to battle.
I never
you
thought
can't
about
use
that.
missiles or you can't use grenades. It's like however we kill the enemy is how we killing the enemy.
Right. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, they were
Yeah.
talking about that. That kind of had me like, come on, why is it? What's going on?
Yeah.
Y'all talking too much.
One old Nicki.
And what about this Joe Budden and his co-host? Did you see them going
Yeah.
at it over some female?
Which one? What clip you talking about?
I'm talking about the clip, the light skinned dude. I don't know his name.
His name is Ish.
Ish and Joe. Like they was talking about. Ish said that Joe came behind him and screwed some girl that he was with.
They
or something.
always be saying stuff like that. They be saying that Joe be smoking hookah with their exes.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's like an inside joke on the
Oh
podcast.
my God. Okay. Well, they was getting into it. I don't know if it was something that they orchestrated and it was just, but it looked like it was real to me.
No,
Like
they be
real
arguing
beef.
on there because they've been friends for 20, 30 years. You know what I
Okay.
mean? So he like, yo, you ain't never do no bullshit before? And he'll
Yeah.
call him out like, yo, you remember you smoking hookah with my ex?
Yeah. Oh my God. Well, yeah, they was on. That was like, what is going on with Joe Budden
No,
and
it'd
his
be
co-host?
funny.
They said that they was getting into
Yeah,
it
they
about a
always be
female.
beefing on there.
Y'all, men do not fight over women, and women do not fight over men.
Exactly.
It ain't worth it. It ain't worth it at the end of the day. I want to talk about, I know we've been kind of like a little bit all over the place today. We just coming back. I'm trying to get back in the groove of things. I want to talk about, just here in the podcast, like what people want to see, what they want to hear, what they want to see us talk about as we go into the year. I want to be able to, I know we talked about certain things, being able to go live and take calls and that kind of stuff. I want to focus on that. I want that to be our 2024. And I know we have to come up with a way of doing things, but just getting the listeners like, hey, like putting some stuff out there on TT's House podcast, on Instagram, on Facebook to say, hey, this is what's coming. And on these days, maybe we can introduce it like monthly, maybe one day out the month.
Yeah.
We take guests or whatever. I want to bring my friends on and talk to them and do some, TT's House cocktails and conversations. Females, I want to bring some guys. Guys say, hey, there ain't no guys on the podcast. You never have men. I want to bring some guys on here and have just a mixed panel too. Women, men, mixed panel, just to talk about everything under the sun that we could talk about. Not just relationships, just everything. Politics, everyday life, children, spouses, relationships, partnerships, work, struggles. You know what I'm saying? We need to focus on certain things for 2024. I want to hear what people are thinking and what they're saying. Remember, I told you I talked to Al and got a lot of good feedback from him about how to take the podcast to the next level. And that's where I'm at. I want to see how we can take it to the next level. As our views are increasing, what can we do to take it to the next level? And I want to hear from the people that are watching. Like, what do they feel like we're doing wrong? What are we doing right? Things like that, because we have our own opinion of how things should be and how they should go, but maybe we need to get the opinions of people that are actually watching. The background, should it be more professional? Should I be in a studio? Those types of things, so that we know how to take our podcast to the next level. What do you think about that, producer?
Yeah, I'm down with it. Let's get the feedback and see what they got to say.
You think people will comment?
Write us, DM us on Instagram and let us know y'all
Maybe we'll
suggestions.
post something on our pages and say, hey, we want feedback, and how can we get it, right? I think that's a good idea, to attack it that way. Start asking questions.
Yes.
Okay, that sounds like a plan. All right, I know we're just coming back. This is not going to be a long podcast. We're getting back in the swing of things, so I just want to say thanks everybody for coming back. New year, new look, new view, new podcast.
Yes, ma'am.
That's what I'm working and striving for. A lot of people keep telling me, like, keep going. You got something there, so let's keep going. Let's keep growing. Let's keep knowing. Let's keep learning. All these things that are positive. Let's bring all the positivity back to social media. So with that being said, I am out of here.